Good morning, CSL. Well, it seems like I've been gone a long time, doesn't it? It was only 2 weeks. So if you're watching us online and you're from out of state, don't come to Florida. We have iguanas falling out of trees, and you don't want to see that. It's not pretty. I'm here to share our core values with you. Of course, you know that we have 7 core values, and they are love and healing and oneness and abundance and spiritual growth and service and diversity. And today's core value is oneness. Now, you know, you come here a lot and you watch us online, and you know that we have 7 core values, and you know that we talk about them all the time. But they're not just pretty words, they're actually challenges. And I have a challenge for you this week, and this is not going to be easy, and I'm going to accept it for myself as well, around our core value of oneness. It seems like in the world today, there isn't a lot of oneness. There's a lot of division, and certainly in our country, and certainly politically, religiously, in all kinds of ways around vaccination and not vaccinated. California liberals don't like the Texas conservatives, and blah, 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 blah. And we have a lot of judgment of them, others, those people. So here's my challenge for you in the practice of our core value of oneness this week. That is, every time a judgment comes to your mind, when you look at them, or you read a headline, or you hear a story online or something that makes you judge you as separate and different from them, and you as better than them, I want you to practice this core value of oneness by doing this one thing. I want you to think of something you share in common with that person you are judging. I want you to bring to mind something that you have in common with the person you are judging. And it will also bring to mind how often you judge. So, if anybody is here next week and who has accepted this challenge of our core value of oneness, let me know how it goes. I'll be back to report on mine. Oneness is our core value. So one of the qualities of spiritual maturity, when you reach a point when you stop thinking about yourself and you start thinking about what you can do for others, is called service. It's also one of our core values. And I want to bring a highlight to someone who has given great service to CSL over many, many, many years. And I want to begin my lesson today by letting you know that Michael Blank, who's been in the AV booth for many, many years, this is his last Sunday. He's moving to New Jersey. Don't know why, but but you will be greatly missed, and I surely, surely appreciate all that you have given to CSL. Would you please help me thank Michael Blank? You done good, dude. You made a difference. So we've spent a month of Sundays talking about our manifesto. And in case you don't know, a manifesto is a statement of who you are and what you stand for. And it's in addition to our core values because it tells the world what our non-negotiables are, you know. So it's not just pretty words that you write down. A manifesto actually has the power to change lives. And we know this as Americans. We are courageous. Our history is filled with this kind of bold action, you know, ideas that change the entire world. Just because a few people stood up and said, we hold these truths to be self-evident, freedom was born on this continent and a new nation was established. So we know the power, and we know there's nothing more powerful than an idea whose time has come. And the time has come for us, I believe, as a spiritual community to put our non-negotiables together, written down on form in some kind of bold statement. So that's what we did, and that's what the cards are in front of you. And if you're online, you can see it at cslftl.org. I think too many of us have felt really helpless for too long. We sit at home and we shake our head at the news and we hear ourselves complain about all the injustices in our world, and we just sit there wondering, well, what am I going to do? You know, what can I do about this? I'm only one person. Well, we're going to change that. So if you're like me and you're ready to make a difference, if you want to leave the world better than you found it, well, you've come to the right place, because we're people who do that. And today I'm going to tell you how. And I think you might be a little bit surprised by what I have to say, because you don't have to be an Elon Musk or an Oprah Winfrey or some other billionaire in the world to make a difference and leave the world better than they found it. You just have to be you. Just have to be you. One of my favorite movies is the American cult classic, It's a Wonderful Life. It's such an iconic part of our American fabric that I know that you already know what the plot is. It all centers around the character George Bailey, and he's at his wit's end, and he believes the world would be much better if he didn't have it, if he didn't have a life at all, if he'd never been born. And so he jumps in the frozen river, right? You remember this. So he's rescued by his guardian angel, Clarence, who grants him his wish. He said, if I wish I'd never been born. And so he erases George Bailey from the world. And then George gets to see the impact that he actually had, his life had on others. Had George Bailey not lived, the world would have been a colder, darker place, right? Without the love that he shared with his children and his lovely wife, played by the ever-perfect Donna Reed. Now, Donna Reed always looked pretty and perfect in her heels and her dress, didn't she? I don't know any woman today who would be cooking in the kitchen wearing dress and heels, but Donna Reed seemed to always pull it off somehow. My mother, on the other hand, who did not wear heels and a dress when she cooked dinner, she wore dark glasses in the kitchen cooking dinner for her children, because she'd been to the club and had a few drinks after her work, and she thought, well, I'll be able to conceal this. It won't be conspicuous at all if I'm in the kitchen wearing sunglasses cooking dinner. The children won't even notice. I come from a long line of lushes. My grandmother told me when I was a young boy, God takes care of drunks and fools, so that means our entire family is under the protective care of the divine. Although I digress. I bring up my mother because my mother told me many, many years ago about the story of my own birth, which almost didn't happen. You see, my parents' blood didn't really mix well together, and so each one of their children was born with a physical deformity. My sister, who was the firstborn, had a heart issue, which was resolved, fortunately, later. My brother, the secondborn, had another physical issue that showed up in puberty. So after having 2 children with physical challenges, the doctors advised my mother to end her pregnancy with me. So she took the doctor's advice, and she scheduled the procedure. But she said, when I was there to have it done in the waiting room, something told me not to do it. Something told her not to do it. I wonder what that something was. Now, here it is. Can you imagine what the world would be like had there never been a Dr. Chris Michaels? Right? Right? What a nightmare the world would have been, right? And what about you? What if you've never been here? How do you think the world would have ended up without you giving your love and your joy and your heart and your wisdom? Just think of all the people that wouldn't even be here on the planet had you not been born. If you have children, then you have grandchildren, and you have a legacy of generations of people that would not even be here. Our manifesto says, there's purpose and meaning to my life. There's nothing accidental or negotiable about my uniqueness. Your birth is not a mistake. You're here for a reason. And I'm glad that you know that now. I just wish someone would have told you when you got here. I just wish someone would have told us this when we arrive on the scene. Sadly, the world did not welcome me with open arms. I've not found the world particularly warm or welcoming to Dr. Chris Michaels at all. No trumpets blared when I was born. No wise men brought me gifts. No stars realigned in the heavens. And I'm sure that's true for you as well. The world doesn't exactly celebrate our entrance into life and isn't much impressed with our exit. And so we must do as Emerson advised us to do. We must ignore the world and unlearn its wisdom, unlearn the wisdom of the world. We must find a way to rediscover our own worth in a world that doesn't even see it. Doesn't even see it. There is nothing accidental about your birth. It's not a mistake that you are here, and it's not a mistake that we are all gathered here together in this community that we call CSL, because we have something to do together. Something that is powerful, something that is unique, and something that's going to leave life better on this planet. But I need all of you to help. Okay, here it is. You know me, I'm pragmatic, so I've got 3 steps. 3 steps on how to leave the world better than you found it. Step 1 is always the hardest. It's like going to the gym for the first time, right? It's always the hardest. Step 1 is wake up from your trance of unconsciousness. It is time to wake up. You have been lulled to sleep by the mediocrity of the dull and fearful masses and the boring life of everyday human life of going to work and doing the laundry. All of a sudden you find yourself asleep and you are stuck on this merry-go-round to hell, this spinning circle of need. Like me, you, and everybody has been convinced from the day we were born and stepped foot on this planet that there's something wrong with you. There's something missing for sure, or certainly there's something broken. Upon entry into this human life, we are quickly indoctrinated into the need machine. I need to get more. I need to get more money. That's my problem. I need more money. I need somebody to love me. You know, if I can just find somebody to love me, then I'm going to be all right. Everything's going to be okay. You know what? I need to fix what's broken. That's the big issue. I need to go back into my childhood. I need to relive all the misery, all the wounds, reopen them all so that I can fix what's broken. And then maybe I can move forward in my life once that's fixed. Listen closely, because I'm going to tell you a little secret this morning. For those of you watching online, and for those of you who are here in the room for the very first time, this is what you came to hear me say. There is nothing wrong with you, nothing missing, and nothing broken. There never was. You're not an accident. You're not a mistake. You were not born as a peasant designed to squalor here on this earth, begging for your good from some distant deity that lives on high. You already have everything you need to succeed in life. You were born with it. You just have to find it. And that's step 2. Step 2 is discover your gifts. And yes, it is plural. It is plural. You have many gifts. Some of them you have discovered. Most of them and many of them lie in wait for your time, for you to take the time to actually look to see what you can do. You see, once you stop looking outside yourself for completion, for fixing what's broken, for finding what's missing, and you turn your attention inward to see what's in there, that's when you discover your uniqueness, your power, your authority. I'm going to let you in on another little secret this morning. Contrary to what all the cosmologists say, even a contradiction to all appearances, you do not live in a universe. The universe lives in you. Here's the formula. My left-brainers will love this. The distance that you can travel physically into the physical universe, the distance you can travel out there to the outer perimeter of the universe, whatever that distance is, the trillions of miles that you can go out there, is equal to the depth of the genius you possess inside. The macrocosm inside the microcosm, the infinite living through the finite, unity expressing as variety. To put it simply, there is a universe of good inside you, an infinite depth of wisdom and love and joy, and once you discover it, then you get off this merry-go-round to hell and end this endless cycle of need. You stop for once in your life and finally in your life from being a taker, trying to get something from life, and you start to be a giver full of goodness, which you were designed to do. And God knows the world needs more givers. This is what's really going to leave the world better, is if we just start giving. I've been in this teaching for a while, quite a while, long time. And I've watched this come a long way. You know, this science of mind is over 100 years old now. In those early days of the 20th century, we attracted crowds and crowds of people. They wanted to learn how to be powerful manifestors. They wanted to get more money and a bigger house and a better job and a cute boyfriend or a cute girlfriend or one of each. In those early days, it was all about learning to use the law of attraction. Remember that? To get everything that you want from life. That was the promise. Use the law of attraction. You can draw to you everything you want. But then we made a shift. We grew up out of our infantile need to get more from life. We grew up from our desire to make it all about what I want. You know, a funny thing happens when you get closer to Spirit. When you know everything is possible and you can have anything you want, suddenly you don't want that much. We're growing, CSL. We're maturing in our spirituality. We're getting closer to the one infinite power, the one pure and perfect love. And so now it's not so much about getting anymore. It's more about giving. Instead of looking to take from life, we're starting to ask ourselves more grown-up, more spiritually mature questions like, what do I have to give that will really make a difference in someone's life? How can I leave this world better than I found it? What wrong do I see that I can make right? So that was step 2, discover your gifts. And when you do discover your gifts and you start giving them, you make another shift. You stop being one of the world's problems and you start being one of its solutions. Step 3, live. Don't visit. Don't rent. Live in joy. You know, when you look at all of the hardship, the suffering, and the injustice in the world, it's very easy to forget that you're supposed to be happy. It's easy to forget that life is supposed to be a joyful adventure, not some miserable experience that you just suffer through. Here's my advice. Get out of your head. Get out of your head and get back to your heart. Let it lead you for a change. If the people you're hanging out with are a joyful addition to your life, then spend more time with them. And if they're not, get as far away from them as you can. And make every decision in your life through this lens. Every decision, and certainly every important decision, through this lens of joy. Ask yourself this question: will this choice bring more joy to myself and others? And if your answer is yes, do more of that and less of everything else. You know, this old world, she got a lot of problems. Don't let the world steal your joy. Don't let the world's problems become your own. That's number 3. Here's the recap. Number 1, wake up from the trance of unconsciousness. You are more than the world can see or ever will see. Number 2, discover your gifts. You have an infinite depth of love, joy, and wisdom inside of you. Let it out. And number 3, live in joy. If it doesn't bring you joy, don't do it. Just say, hail to the no, I won't go. Let's say it together. Hell to the no, I won't go. You got it. Look, I'm not an inventor, and so I'm not going to invent something that's going to change the world. I'm not a philanthropist. I don't have millions of dollars to give away, and I'm clearly not the outdoorsy type. So I'm not going to go dig a well in Africa. I've got a voice, and I can use it the way Spirit intended me to use it, which is to lift others up. And I've got passion, and I can use that passion to make the dream a reality of creating a world that works for everybody, not just the 1%. And I've got you, babe. And when you pull us all together, I think we can be pretty powerful. Let's work together to leave the world better than we found it. And so ends the lesson. I love our time together. I love coming together with a group of like-minded people who are interested in doing something well for themselves and for the world. I love our spiritual practice of gathering together in community and fellowship and prayer. And I love our time of stillness. Let's close our eyes and go within.
Breathe out, I breathe in, I am still, I go within. When I quiet my mind, in the stillness I find. Spirit meets me there. Spirit meets me there.
I am conscious and I'm awake. And I am aware of my power, my love, and my authority. I am created in the image and likeness of wholeness and perfection. I come from God, and so do you. We are here, awake and conscious, open-hearted, ready to share love. Open-minded, ready to expose the wisdom and the genius that lives inside of us. We are here to bring to life the presence of Spirit. Any lesser definition of myself that I've accepted, any lesser idea of who I am, is fading into my past. There ain't nothing wrong with me. There is nothing broken. And there are no missing pieces. This is true for you and for all of us. We are whole and perfect and complete. Beautiful, loving creatures, spirits created. We forgot. We just forget sometimes. Let's take a minute to remind ourselves of this truth, to remember it. Let's go within and be still. Peace has been restored to my mind. The question of am I worthy has been answered. I am worthwhile. Love has returned to my soul and to my body as the healer. With me again, all is well. All is well again. And so it is.
I go within, when I quiet my mind, in the stillness I find. Spirit meets me there. Spirit meets me there.
Okay, we close our service with our closing affirmation and prayer, and yours is probably just like mine because we saw to it that it is. I did not write this. Reverend Skip Jennings wrote this, and this is what he said. Say it with me. Infinite love lives with me. It is my natural state of being, and I am at home with it. All is well. Let's know this together. There is power and purpose to my life. There is nothing accidental or negotiable about my uniqueness. I come from the stars. I come from God. We are all created in the image and likeness of holiness and perfection. The purpose of my life is the same as the purpose of your life. It is to unfold divinity, to express love. We are here for love. And in so doing, by giving more of who we are, the world is made better because love heals all things. I am committed to love this week and to moving out into the world and seeing everyone as I see myself without judgment as another perfect expression of God. This truth is cemented in my consciousness. I move from its power now. I am made well again, and I am so grateful. And so it is. It's good to be back, CSL. I'll see you next Sunday. Have a good week. Thank you for watching, and thanks for supporting CSL. If you'd like to know more about us, check us out on our website or social media. Blessings.